Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Match Reaction. I'm your host Jordan, and today we're going to be going through the disappointing performance on Saturday, which was the Millwall game. There's a number of things we've got to go over, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Please stick around, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So, first of all, I want to go through... I've spoke about it in a few of a couple of other videos, and the way that we've been starting the matches. Now, it's been so disappointing. I'm not sure why it's happening, but we just can't seem to get a grip of the game in the first 20-25 minutes. We just can't seem to get a hold of the ball. You know, people have touches on the ball, that kind of thing. We've really struggled to do so, especially over the last few games. But I would say, obviously, in them last ones, we've managed to win the match. So we've managed to ride the pressure that we've, been given, and then come out the other side and actually score ourselves. But the game against Millwall, it was just a completely different game, completely different ball game. I really actually felt sorry for Dale Fry and Grant Hall, because I thought them two were absolutely superb, not just throughout, but them first 20 to 25 minutes, when, if I'm being honest, it was a strange one, because the players looked dejected, they looked, I don't know, there was no passion there, no fight, apart from the likes of Dale Fry, Grant Hall, and actually Bettinelli. He's had his critics this season, but Bettinelli pulled off some brilliant saves to actually keep us in the game. And if he's made them saves, he's keeping his end of the bargain up. He's doing his job, what he's there to do, make important saves. And if it had been the different story the other end of the pitch, then who knows, we could have come out with a completely different result. But yeah, I felt sorry for Dale Fry and Grant Hall. I thought they were superb, really dealt with any pressure that Millwall threw at us, because I was really impressed by them, if I'm being honest. They weren't on the best run of form the last time we played them, obviously at the Riverside, beating them 3-0, but this time around they've had a good little spell together. And anytime we had the ball in that first half, they were on us. I put on my Twitter, they were on us like a rash. As soon as we had the ball, you've got three men surrounding them, and the really isolated players like Balassi and Spence as well, to a certain extent. These pacey players that when they get the ball, they're bang, looking to explode, 1v1, being in a situation, create something. But as soon as these players got the ball, there was three men around that player. And they really nullified anything that we could do in the first half. So I can't take anything away from Millwall. And I've got to give them credit where it's due. I thought they were brilliant, especially in that first half. But like I said, Bettinelli he kept us in the game, and he's had plenty of critics this season, but he's pulled off some really important saves. And actually, while I'm talking about him, I personally would love to see him at the club next year. If we could manage to keep a player like Bettinelli, I think he's a brilliant keeper. One thing I would say is, I think we can all agree on potentially is, his kicks going forward. Sometimes he doesn't find a man and it just goes straight out of play. I think that's maybe the only thing I could really pick him up on. Obviously, other than that, every keeper makes mistakes every now and again, fumbles the ball, whatever. But he's been very consistent, and he's pulled off some really good saves. And like I say, he did so in that Millwall game. But it's a shame, like I said, that the front three couldn't do it. And Warnock spoke about them after the game, and that first half, he just said, like, it's as if we were playing with 8 men, essentially. That's how unimportant they were in that match, essentially. They didn't create anything, or I say that they just looked dejected. There was a lack of passion and a lack of fight, if you would, to go out and fight for the balls, go and attack Millwall, put them under pressure. And if you don't have that from your front three, you're never going to score a goal. We've always struggled with that as a club, but we haven't lacked players that, wanted to fight for the ball and bring that passion. I think us as Boro fans, all we ask for is passion from a player, that fighter. I think that's why we love players like Johnny Howson, because it doesn't matter if you get beat. He's one of them players where week in, week out, he gives you everything he's got. And I just felt, I agree with Warnock and what he said. I just felt them front three didn't show that. Tom has struggled all season, although he's actually, third, I think, on the list or something for goal involvements. He just hasn't posed a threat. I was a little bit disappointed in Balassi just because of how good he's been of late. So yeah, them front three were very poor. And another poor performance was from Jed Spence. Personally, I don't know what's going on with Jed, because under Woodgate he was so consistently good, and maybe it's his age thing. It's not me like having a dig at him or whatever, but just since Warnock, it seems like he just seems a little bit more nervous to go forward. I don't know if that's maybe what he's being told, or I'm not sure. But he seems apprehensive to take players on 1v1. We know he's got it in his locker. He did it while he was under Woodgate. To take players on 1v1, get to the byline, whip a ball in. But now he seems to get so far, turn back, play the ball. When he's got that pace and the skill to be able to beat his man and put a ball in. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But at the end of the day, he is still 20 years old. Do you know what I mean? He's not old, he's still maturing as a player. He's got loads to learn about the game. And I think he will be an important player for Boro, in years to come. I think if he can just stick in there and learn from the things that Warnock will obviously tell him in training, and they'll have one-on-one coaching, and he'll put his arm around him and say, look, that wasn't your best game. It really, really wasn't. But going forward, look at that, and where can we go from there? I just feel he gave the ball away. He was a little bit too easily for me. His touch was off. Just everything just wasn't clicking. And you know what? Fair enough. Everyone has them games. He's 20 years old, and I won't want him to have all these critics to lower his confidence, because he's been brilliant up until that point, really. So hopefully that's just a little blip. And we can move on. But I would say from half time, the subs that were made were absolutely brilliant. I do think it was the right decision to bring off the complete front three and replace them with another, because, like I say, it just wasn't working and something needed to change. Don't know what was going on in them players' heads, but by bringing on the three at half time, it was Mendes, Lang, Watmore, and someone else. I can't remember who. But when we brought them players on, we completely different sides. We got at Millwall, we were creating chances, and to be fair, the tactics that they used in the first half, the start of the second half the same, but because they had these players that showed that extra bit of passion, wanted to create things, Millwall genuinely couldn't cope. So when three would go around one player, it was a little flick, or it was just using the head, and maybe playing like a bounce pass to then get around this man, and they couldn't deal with them three players that came on, and they really struggled, to be fair, and it left gaps, and we created like loads of chances, and it's a real shame that Tav wasn't on the pitch still in that second half, because I do believe that he would have made the difference. He's that player that's gonna play that 1-2, create that space and get his shot off, and I feel like we genuinely did miss that in the second half. I think Saville, he did the underlying things well, but in terms of creating, there wasn't much there compared to what you're going to get from Tav. So I think we did miss that. And hopefully his injury is not too serious, because, it's probably, if it could happen, it's the best time it could happen. You've got the international break now. Rest up and then go again for the few final games for the season. But hopefully that's not too serious, and like I say, he can be back part of the team, because he's obviously a massive player. But like I said, just touching back on the players that came on, hell of a difference. Like I say, we dominated the second half. Really, Millwall had nothing. Apart from actually on the counter attack, there was a few times where they caught us off guard. Obviously, we want the points. We're 1-0 down. You just throw on everything that we've got at it. And there was a few times where, like I said, the caught us on the brakes on the left hand side, and I thought Jed Wallace. I thought he was absolutely superb against Boro. Really, 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 really good player. And played well, like I say, on Saturday. But yeah, like I said, there was a few times where the caught us on the counter attack, and throw men forward. We'd left a couple of gaps. But like I said, Dale and Hall, I thought they were brilliant throughout. So if the forwards are, I think it just wasn't meant to be, really. If it wasn't for the shambolic first half, I think we'd have been all right. And I think if we'd have nicked a goal in them first 10 to 15 minutes worth of pressure that we put on Millwall, I genuinely think we'd have gone on to win it, because they couldn't handle us. That first 15-20 minutes we were just absolutely relentless, and it was all Boro. So yeah, like I say, it's a massive shame. There was a couple that Sav actually had where it was kind of tap in position, and they've blocked it on the line. The keeper's made a good couple of saves, but just that wasn't that, and that's what I mean. If Tav was there, I genuinely think he'd probably nicked one himself, and then maybe assisted another. But you look at the games coming up. I mean, no one looks forward to the international break, really. But I think it's good timing. I think we can kind of reset from the Millwall game and go, right, we've got the likes of Bournemouth on Good Friday, then we've got, I think it's Barnsley, someone else, and then Watford. So you're playing three teams that, not necessarily Watford anymore, but Bournemouth and Barnsley, you're chasing both of them teams. I think if you go and get something out of there, obviously that means they're going to drop points, and there's still that chance. I mean, you can see it two ways. You can see it as, one, it was the best time to lose because Barnsley got beat and Bournemouth drew, I think it was. So you can see it as that they dropped points and so did we, or you can see it as a massive missed opportunity. To go to Millwall, get 3 points, and then reduce the gap to 3 points. I see it as a missed opportunity, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. Like I say, we move on. And we look to play Bournemouth Good Friday, and you're thinking, if you can go and get something out of that game, then you're more than still in it, really. So let's just see what happens. Fingers crossed, like I say, Tav is back soon. It's not too serious. It was good to see Paddy back as well, as obviously his injury wasn't as bad as we initially thought. And yeah, is playoffs realistic? Can we still get them? Let me know if you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments. And if you're listening on the podcasts, just share it on social with us. We put out polls quite often, so just get involved on there, and like I say, let us know what your thoughts are. But I'm the optimist, shall we say, and sometimes it's the hope that kills us. But why not? Who's to say we can't go on and kind of be that team that has a bit of form towards the end of the season and just nicks it? You never know. That 6th place is still up for grabs. So yeah, let's see what happens. But that is the match reaction for this week. We obviously won't be doing one for next week because international break and things. But we're looking to do a Q&A. So if you've got any questions as well, send them in to us, and we will get busy making the Q&A. But I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. This episode. And if you have, please like the video. Subscribe, like I say, if you're watching the YouTube channel. And on the podcast, please leave a review. And just stick around for, like I say, more content. We've got loads more coming. We've got exciting things for the website coming. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.